Men who aren't immature, and we'll go back to the immaturity issue, and who are goal focused tend to organize themselves in relationship to perceived competence while pursuing that goal. And I think, one of the things that's puzzled me, for example, is a trope, let's say, that's very common in American movies, because it kind of runs contrary to the apparent presuppositions of something like evolutionary biology. So you can imagine a football team movie, and you can imagine a subplot being a quarterback who overcomes the odds and, wins the championship game and is paraded out of the stadium on the shoulders of his teammates. So they're all celebrating him, right? They're pushing him up to the highest position. One of the consequences of that is that he becomes much more radically attractive to the cheerleaders, let's say. And then you might ask, well, what the hell's up with those males who are putting this guy up on their shoulders, because they seem to be taking a reproductive hit with their celebration of his ability. But I suspect that the corollary to that is something like, well, if you're a man and you associate with the group that's run by a very productive winner, let's say, then the glory also descends on you. And so you think that's a reasonable hypothesis?
Absolutely. And in social psychology, we call this basking in reflected glory, or burgeoning. And that's even if my team wins. So if UGA wins a basketball or a football championship, I go, hey, we won. I feel great. But if it's my own team and I'm on it, yes, you definitely get esteem and status from being associated with great people. I mean, it's a win.
Right. So that's another indication of why the patriarchy is not pathological at its core if it's structured properly, because that's such an optimistic view, because it means that you can structure a sociological organization around a goal, and we're going to assume the goal is at least mutually chosen by all the participants, that the best man will rise to win, but it's not a zero-sum game for the rest of the players. Quite the contrary. And you can see that with hunting, I think, is the best example among hunter-gatherers. So from what I've read, the anthropological literature, any given hunter, even if he's the best hunter in the tribe, has an overwhelming probability of failing at any given hunt. And so what the men do is they distribute the spoils of hunts across multiple hunts. And it's generally incumbent on the best hunter, especially when he has a successful day, not to take the best cuts for himself, and also not to claim credit for the hunt, to distribute the best cuts and to be humble in his claims. And I think the reason for that, I think this is a very compelling idea fundamentally. The reason for that is, well, you want to have a bunch of guys to hunt with all the time. And if you turn out to be not only highly skilled, but also like generous to a fault, people are going to be thrilled to go out and hunt with you because everybody wins. And that's a really good long-term game.